السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. هيا على الصلاة. هيا على الصلاة. هيا على الفلاح. هيا على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي خلق الإنسان وحمله على البر والبحر وفضله على كثير ممن خلق تفضيلا، ثم ميزه بالعقل للإدراك والفهم. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له قيوم السماوات والأراضين، بعث نبيه محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم رحمة للعالمين. وأشهد أن محمدا صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم عبد الله ورسوله، بلغ حقيقة رسالة ربه وأفضل الأمانة ونصح للأمة، وجاهد لله حق جهاده حتى أتاه اليقين. فسبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. أما بعد. Brothers and sisters in Islam, we thank the Almighty Allah for giving us an opportunity to be here today. We thank Him for His mercies that He's bestowed upon us. We bear witness that there is no deity worthy of worship except the Almighty Allah. We also bear witness that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam is His servant and His messenger. Whosoever the Almighty Allah guides is really guided, and anybody who goes astray has nobody to blame but themselves. Today is a Friday, which corresponds with the 11th day of Rabiul Awwal, 1444 years after the hijrah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It also corresponds, I believe, with the 7th day of October on the Julian Gregorian calendar 2022. For any civilization to be given birth to, maintained, and sustained, that civilization must take care of education. All the civilizations that history has recorded for us were civilizations that were very much interested in the advancement of humanity in science and technology. And this is true because the superpowers of the world today are the ones controlling education of the world. They give to the world what they want, and then they keep what they want to keep for themselves. The Romans, the Persians, the Greeks, the Egyptians, the Mesopotamians, the Babylonians, the Chinese, and the Indians ruled at their time because they were in control of the educational system of the world at that time. The Almighty Allah says in the Quran, وَلَكَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ وَحَمَلْنَاهُمْ فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ وَرَزَقْنَاهُمْ مِنَ الطَّيِّبَاتِ وَفَضَّلْنَاهُمْ عَلَى كَثِيرٍ مِمَّنْ خَلَقْنَا تَفْضِيلًا. The Almighty Allah says, verily I have honored the children of Adam, and I have given them dominion on land and in sea, and I have given them preference over a lot of the creations that I, the Almighty Allah, has created. How did the Almighty Allah give us this preference over the rest of creation? Surah Al-Baqarah explains this ayah in Surah Al-Isra for us when the Almighty Allah says, وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً قَالُوا أَتَجْعَلُ فِيهَا مَنْ يُفْسِدُ فِيهَا وَيَسْفِكُ الدِّمَاءَ وَنَحْنُ نُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِكَ وَنُقَدِّسُ لَكَ قَالَ إِنِّي أَعْلَمُ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. The human race was given preference over the rest of creation based on knowledge and education. So any community that invests in knowledge and education becomes powerful. Any community that invests in the nurturing and the education and the tarbiyah and the know-how of its people becomes a place of development and success. And this is true for the Muslim world. When Rome accepted Christianity and made Christianity the religion of the state, some Christian fanatics went into the great library of Alexandria and then burned it down. A few of the books were rescued. The Persians in Gondi Shapur had built an academy, so some of the books were sent there. When the Muslims took over the reins of the world at that time, they preserved these books for humanity. During Al-Ma'mun's time, one of the caliphs of the Abbasiyah, when you write a new book or you translate a book from any of the languages of the world into the Arabic language, that book is weighed on a scale and then you are paid the weight of that book in gold. That was how the Muslims took care of knowledge. We want to be living now in this world of technology, especially in the time of computers and phones, without the works of Al-Khwarizmi. When you hear of algorithms, that's Al-Khwarizmi. When you hear of algebra, that is Al-Jabr. Al-Jabr wal-Muqabala. Ibn al-Haytham was the father of modern day optics. And all these Muslim scientists, Al-Kindi, Al-Farabi, Ibn Sina, they played a great role in the Western civilization that we see it as today. But the problem of the age is that the world Muslims played a great role in the advancement of science and technology in the world today. With our Muslim scientists in Cordoba, and Baghdad, and Dimashq, and Samarkand, and Ray, the world will not have what it has today. But none of this is taught in our schools because it looks too Islamic. But that is not my problem. Whether some people accept what Muslims have done or not, as Muslims, do we continue on that tangent or not? It's a question that Muslims must ask ourselves. The fact that we have a golden history, the fact that our past is very beautiful and enlightening. 1,000 years ago, if you go into space and then you look down from space, half of the world at night is in darkness and the other half is in light. From Baghdad to Pakistan, at night they had street lights 1,000 years ago. So when the Westerner says the Middle Ages or the medieval times or the Dark Ages, it meant only Europe was in darkness. The rest of the world was in light. But the problem of the age is that the Muslim has forgotten this legacy, and the Westerner has picked this legacy, and then he has improved upon it and made it better. And that's the reality. We can't close our eyes to this reality. We can't do that. We cannot check the responsibility that other nations picked up where we left off. Other nations continued where we slept off. And we need to realize that and smoke the coffee that this is what it is now. And until the Muslims rise up and then take part in the socio-economic development of the world, together with spirituality, we will still remain where we are. The first 5 verses that were revealed in the Quran are all application verses. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. The first 5 verses to be revealed in the Quran spoke about education 6 times. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. Where are we today? What contribution is the Muslim in the world giving to the development of the world today? We did that 1,000 years ago. We introduced plumbing, in-house plumbing. We introduced soaps, we introduced perfumes to the world. We opened the eyes of the world to what is clean water and hygiene. But where are we today? And that's a question each and every one of us must ask ourselves, that it is not only about coming to the masjid 5 times a day and praying. It is about the contribution you leave behind, the legacy you leave behind that the world enjoys after you are dead. Al-Khwarizmi left behind a legacy that the whole world now uses algorithms, whether you like it or not. You know, sometimes you ask young Muslims, where do you see yourself in the next 5-10 years? And you hear, I want to play pro ball. I want to play baseball. I want to play basketball. I want to play b-ball. You hardly hear of any of them speaking about the STEM fields: science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, or even the humanities. You don't hear us speaking about that. I'm not saying being an athlete is haram or wrong, but the Muslim nation now, well, that's what we need them to be. We need them to be there where the major decisions are being taken in shaping entertainment and being a celebrity and dancing and then jumping there and there. No, we don't need to be there. We don't have time for that. We have little time for us to be wasting on entertainment and sports. We have little time. Ahead of us. If you want to have a good career in any of the fields, you need to come to the West. But if you want to be an entertainer, you go to our countries. Our countries are now places for play and games. Yes, that's the reality. The Muslim nations are now places where you want to go and chill and have a good time. Like if it is education, no. You rather have to come to the West. And the West deserves this because that is what the West strove for. That's what they struggled. That's what they built. their state, their countries with. And denying that is denying existence and reality. So the Muslims must sit down and really organize themselves and really ask ourselves, what are we here to do? How long are we going to be here? And what legacies are we leaving behind? This is a fact. And anywhere I go across the world in my travels, I see that the Muslims have the same problem. We forgot about our legacies and we are okay. We are comfortable. What? Playing, smoking, drinking, jumping, being entertainers, and that's it. In any community that invests in entertainment and not education has no future. If you invest only in entertainment and there's no education in there, you have no future. And that's the fact. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal says, الناس أحوج إلى العلم من الطعام والشراب. That human beings need knowledge more than their need for food and water. Because you might need to eat only once or twice in a day, but you need knowledge for every breath you take in this life. And when we speak about knowledge, we are not speaking about a specific field. No, every field of knowledge that brings prosperity and advancement and success to the human race is the knowledge that Islam speaks about. Go and pick Ibn al-Qayyim's Zad al-Ma'ad. And one of the volumes, he names it Tibb al-Nabawi, prophetic medicine. And look at the descriptions that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave in terms of what to use in terms of medicine. Ibn Sina's Al-Qanun fi al-Tibb was used in medical schools in the known world for close to 6 to 7 centuries. And you think Islam is only about Salah and Hajj and Siyam and that's it? If that is what the Sahaba did, do you think we will get Islam? Zayd ibn Thabit studied the Hebrew language in 17 days. He studied the grammar, he studied the literature, he studied the morphology, he studied everything about the Hebrew language in 17 days. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave each and every companion a role to play in the community. He needed someone to go in for a covert operation in Medina to disseminate Islam before the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came. He sent Mus'ab ibn Umayr, a young man, around 22, 23 years. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent him into Medina. Before the elders of Medina could realize, 70% of the youth of Medina were Muslims before even the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam went to Medina. When the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam needed someone who was good in debate and dialogue, he sent Mu'adh to Yemen to speak to the Christians. So as a nation, as an ummah, as a community, when we want to develop, when we want to leave behind blueprints, when we want to leave behind our legacies, there's a need for us to bring these things together onto the same table. Then the community develops. We need to look into the community and then the bright minds that we have, we channel their energies and then their capabilities into fields that will bring us peace and prosperity. When our young ones, our kids here in the masjid become doctors and lawyers and engineers, anytime the masjid needs any help, we don't need to cry outside. Just one person will give us $100,000 and we are okay. Last year in Michigan, we went to a fundraising. Even before last year, there is a masjid Friday masjid. I've forgotten the name of the masjid here in the US. Last night they had a fundraiser and then they raised $1.2 million. The masjid, yes, in the US. Last year, there was a church being sold in Michigan, in Detroit to be specific. And some brothers wanted to buy the church and turn it into a madrasa. The asking price was $350,000. A medical doctor called 20 of his friends for lunch in his home. And before we finished eating, they had raised $500,000. It's not Allah Akbar. It's not Allah Akbar. That's all we know Muslims now. Allah Akbar. That's it. That's the reality of the Muslim. It's only Allah Akbar and that's it. Empty Allah Akbar. If Abu Bakr Siddiq had not been a businessman, do you think Islam would have survived to this day? If Uthman ibn Affan had not been a serious entrepreneur and an investor, do you think we would have been here today? If Khalid ibn al-Walid had not been that army general, that warrior, that man, until recently, military academies across the world were using his methods to teach warfare. This is who we are. This is our legacy. But what happened? Where did we sleep? You know, it's painful that anytime the Muslim nations are being mentioned, you will hear of war and instability, and the other thing is we hear of entertainment. That's it. The good things that the Western civilization has, we don't copy. We are not interested in that. Even some of us who are here in America. Look at our kids and look at their hairstyles. Tells you where we are going. Even the hairstyle of our kids is a sign. They are copying hairstyles of which kind of people? Who are their role models? That's the issue. Are they copying the hairstyles of doctors and engineers and psychologists? No. Whose hairstyles are they copying? I don't need to give you that answer. It means we have a lot of work to do. أقول ما تسمعون وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين ولا عاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم عبد الله ورسوله أما بعد. I don't always believe in ranting on about our problems without giving solutions. We need to really have a sit down and really ask ourselves, what are we doing here in this dunya, and what legacies are we leaving behind? George Bernard Shaw, an Irishman, said, if Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was alive today, he will solve the problems of the world whilst drinking coffee. That's what non-Muslim philosophers and psychologists say about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The question is, how much of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's life is inculcated in me and you? It's a question we need to ask ourselves. The problem is that the dunya has covered our faces and our eyes, that we are running helter-skelter because we think we must do some things, and those things are things that we've imposed ourselves, and those things are meaningless. And mostly it's we the young ones. Because we live in a country that is moving at a very fast pace, we also want to move at that very fast pace. Some people in life are running a sprint. It is a 100-meter dash. Some people are running a marathon. Understand that in life, and then you be free. That you don't need to join those people who are running on a sprint if you don't have that energy. And you don't need to join those people who are running a marathon if you don't have that heart. And as parents, the onus is upon us to sit our kids down and then prepare for them a life that they must lead. And forget this thing about leave the choices to the kids. We children don't have any choices. It is you, the parents, who guide us to the choices that we must make in life. When you leave the kids to make their choices, the television is there, it will guide them. The internet is there, it will guide them. TikTok is there, it will guide them. Snapchat is there, it will guide them. Facebook is there, it will guide them. So you feel you're being a very good, nice parent. I'm not interfering in what my child is doing. I'm giving them the freedom to choose whatever they are choosing. Someone is choosing for them, whether you like it or not. Someone will. So create that atmosphere in the home that will make the kid understand that this dunya is not only about making money. This dunya is greater and bigger than that. So Muslims, let's look into the young generation. Maybe for the fathers, Salamun Qawlan wa Rabbil Rahim, you are done and dusted. But for the younger ones that are coming up, Allah, we have a great job to do. Our grandfathers, whether they are first generation immigrants or third generation immigrants, at least kept for us a legacy that we are here today at Jumu'ah. The question is, what legacy will we leave behind for the next generation of Muslims? In 20 years or in 30 years, will we have Muslims come to Al-Wasatiyah to pray Jumu'ah? It's a question we must ask ourselves. If we cannot answer that question satisfactorily, then we need to have a factory reset of our lives. The Muslim is someone who is powerful. The Muslim is someone who has direction. The Muslim is someone who knows what he is about. The Muslim is someone who leaves behind a legacy wherever he is. The Muslim is someone who effects change in wherever he goes. Positive one. And as I said earlier on, Muslims in America or Muslims everywhere in the world, it's not time for us to enter into sports or entertainment. No. We need to be there in the STEM fields. We need to be there in the humanities, where the brains are being cracked, where the decisions are being made, where anytime Congress needs someone to come and answer for anything, we are the ones, we are the experts being called upon. 300 years later, maybe you can choose to dance and play. But now, no. And it's across the world. So fathers, parents, let's start inculcating this idea in our kids at home. And let's start analyzing them. And let's start looking at them and see what potentials they have. And let's channel their energies towards that potential. Let's check what they see on the internet and what they read. Let's tune their minds and program their minds towards that. Because we need it. We need it. But ultimately, let's let them understand who the Almighty Allah is. As we call for people to enter into the STEM fields and the humanities, it is not at the expense of Ma'rifatillahi wa Rasuli. No. That is number one. So we need a Hafiz who will be a medical doctor. We need a Hafiz who will be a pharmacist. We need a Hafiz who will be a technician. We need a Hafiz who is a psychologist. We need a Hafiz who is a police officer. We need a Hafiz who is a lawyer. We need a Hafiz who is a judge. All of us cannot be ulama on the mimbar every Friday delivering khutbah, but all of us can stand on our individual mimbars in our own fields, raising the flag of La ilaha illallah. And that's what we need. Fuse in them this spirit. Because that's what the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ taught us. The likes of Khalid will go and fight in the battles, and at night they will stand on their prayer racks and then they will weep and call to the Almighty Allah. Because that's the essence of our creation. Human beings, the Almighty Allah created us from these two factors. We have the spiritual part and then we have the physical part. When you leave the spiritual part alone without nurturing, and you only take care of the physical part, you become an animal. And then when you leave the physical part alone, and then you only nurture the spiritual part, you are cut off from the world. You start seeing things in the sky. And that's the reality of the Muslims. Some of us are only into spiritualities. The other group are only into physicalities. And then there is a huge gap between the two. Let's move into the center and merge these things. And then we'll go back to our glory days. اللهم اعز الاسلام والمسلمين واذل الشرك والمشركين ودمر اعداء الدين وانصر اخواننا المستضعفين في كل مكان. اللهم من ارادنا واراد الاسلام بسوء فرد كيده عليه. اللهم من ارادنا واراد الاسلام بسوء فرد كيده عليه. اللهم انا عبيدك بنو عبيدك بنو امائك نواصينا بيدك ماض فينا حكمك. نسالك بكل اسم هو لك سميت به نفسك او انزلته في كتابك او علمته احدا من خلقك او استاثرت به في العلم الغيب عندك ان تجعل القران العظيم ربيع قلوبنا ونور صدورنا وجلاء احزاننا وذهاب همومنا وغمومنا. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد ان لا اله الا انت نستغفرك ونتوب اليك. قوموا الى صلاتكم رحمكم الله.